This lab is called growing air. What happens to the volume of a gas when thermal energy changes? The ice in a lake gained energy from the sun. Recall that when energy is added to a solid, such as ice, the kinetic energy of the particles increases. How do you think this affects the volume of a substance? Let's find out. The materials that you need for this lab are a hot plate. Since I don't have a hot plate, I'm just using my kitchen stove. A flask, a balloon, hot mitts, tongs, and ice water. So first you're going to stretch that balloon and blow it up several times. Then you're going to blow up the balloon to a diameter of about 5 centimeters. So you see we've already done that. Then you're going to twist the neck and stretch the mouth of that balloon over the opening of an empty flask. At this point, I'm now going to put the flask on the hot plate. And in this case, my stove. As I put on my stove, I'm now going to slowly turn up the temperature. And at this point, I want you to describe and illustrate your observations. Slowly increase the temperature. Continue to observe what happens. Continue to observe and note your observations. At this point, now that you have had the chance to observe as you've increased the heat, I'm going to turn off my stovetop hot plate. I'm now going to use the tongs to very, very carefully remove the flask and now allow it to cool. And allow it to cool for at least 5 minutes before we do the next step. As it's cooling, go ahead and record and illustrate your observations as it is cooling. Now that your flask has completely cooled, very carefully place the flask in a bowl of ice water. Describe and illustrate your observations. You will continue to observe and describe and illustrate your observations.